Alright, so there's 7 new gear sets, including the ones we just got on JP that I'm going to talk about. Well, just got on JP. It's been a while, but we're going to include this in one video. Now, when are they coming to global, the other 3 gear sets? No idea, but we're going to talk about all of them. Now, unfortunately, what I find very annoying is that we could only get the best set out of the 4 once every 3 days. And now that there's Transcendence, it's going to take 2 months to get a 2-piece set fully transcended of this. So the problem with it on global is that there's no crafting for this. On JP, you are able to craft this gear set. Not on global, at least not yet. World Boss hasn't come back, so when World Boss comes back, hopefully we get the ability to craft this gear set. Now, you're only able to farm one of these 3 gear dungeons. Technically, you get 3 attempts total. So we're going to talk about, well, I'll just say right now, the best one to farm is either the clown or the, like, I don't know what you would call this set. The SP set. I'll call it the SP set. So these are the 2 best ones to farm in my opinion. But all 3 of them have uses. We're going to go over units that, well, all the units that could profit from these gear sets and the ones on JP. So just, you know, I might put timestamps. Probably not. You could just skip through and kind of see a bit. But you're also able to get them in the actual gear dungeons. Do we get anything good? I mean, hey, there we go. So I would say that the red gear dungeon is now even better in a way, but unfortunately it's just more spread out now, so it's lower chance to actually get other gear pieces, which kind of sucks in a way. I'd say that the green dungeon is just very unfortunate now because it's only penetrate. Oh well, there is crit damage, so I guess there is that, but it's just this is probably the worst set out of the 4 on global at the moment. One thing that I'm going to keep on saying, and I really hope Garena changes, is that the gear banner should have had the 4 new gear sets. Imagine, I think it would have incentivized people to summon way more. And, like, maybe the rates also being at 20% would have been better. But, hey, I think that they kind of fumbled it. So, anyway, let's get into this. We're going to start with, not this one. This is just a tweet. But this one. So, I want to talk about this. This set is going to be really good with pretty much the whole game. I mean, if you think of it, any team that has a healer is going to be very good with this. Now, not even just that. You could also run this on, well, every single mono team, plus any team that has a healer. So let me pull up Pride One just on its own. All the rest is to show the units. So for mono blue, over time, we are going to get Clover Academy Noel in about a month from now. No, a month and a half from now. So because of that, when she comes out, Mono Blue is going to be set, but they have Charmy for now, but I wouldn't recommend using Charmy on this team. But when the Clover Academy Noel comes out, she will be very good for Mono Blue. I know she's ranked in A, but she does work. Okay, she does work. All right. She's probably better on defense than Charlotte. Reason being because, at least on JP, because of the fact that Mario Leona is so prevalent on JP, and she is the #1 like killer, quote unquote, of Mario, to where she reduces everyone's damage by 35% turn 1. So there's that. She heals. Okay, then Mono Red has Witch Queen. So they're able to stay above 90%, which is going to give them a 20% damage reduction buff. Now, this is also good just for turn 1, because turn 1 Mario is super strong, and this is going to allow you to be able to stop that. And even besides that, Mono Green has the barrier, so turn 1, they're not going to fall below 90%, and then over time, this Mimosa is going to pop into the meta, and then you're going to have invincibility, so it's going to be pretty good, and all 3 mono teams are going to be able to sustain and keep over this 90% threshold. So I would say that this is one of the pieces that you just want to do, the gear. If you're farming the gear sets, honestly, you could do it only for this, right? Over time, I know it's not much, but every 3 days, you're going to get one of these, and you're going to save up, and then over time, you're going to get the 2-piece, and even the 2-piece is just perfect as it is, right? So that's all you really need. It's a really good set. 20% damage reduction is huge, okay? Now, next one is the Wandering Clown. The 2-piece is the main one we're going for. A lot of these you're going to be running on 2-piece and not 4 pieces, but some of them 4 pieces is not a bad idea, and I'll explain when the 4 pieces aren't bad. So the 2-piece is giving 8% reduced damage dealt to the enemies when you're using the skill 1. So this could be applied on with anyone, right? That's the main thing. And mainly we're looking at people whose skill 1s are good, or you're going to be using them a lot. Now, the 4-piece is going to be reducing damage dealt by 35% when you use an alt in under the same conditions. Now, what's good about this set is that you're able to do this even through debuff block. That's the main thing. So Charmy does have a pretty good skill 1, and you're going to be using it quite a lot just to tap and like get your heal right on mono red. It's a pretty decent thing. So you will end up getting that 8%. Same with Lotus. His skill 1 is giving the mobility reduction, so you're going to use it with him. Charlotte, her skill 1 puts the SP, and then also you're going to be getting, right, the attack lower. And Noelle, you can run the 4-piece if your Noelle has like a +2 or a +3. You just want to be quicker than the DPS, and a DPS, right, the thing is with that, if you have a 2-piece speed with 4-piece of this, it could work in some cases, but not all cases. So please do keep that in mind. It will depend on a lot of situations, but I don't think Noelle is going to be in the meta much longer anyway, unless you're running it on Mario's team. But if you're running it on Mario's like William type of team, you're only needing her for turn 1 to get this, for this incapacitate on her Duke 2. That's the only reason mainly why you're running it with her, so Mario could do more damage turn 1. That's basically how it goes. And then this Noelle could use it for the, for this, right? Her skill 1 is actually very good. It's not on here, but basically, if I remember correctly, it does give SP +1 and puts barrier block for 2 turns, I think. I think it's 2 turns. I don't know if it was 1 or 2 turns, but it's a very good skill 1. So any very good skill 1, you're going to be able to make use of this buff. And then Vanessa 2 gives 2 SP, and I find myself using this SP bonus on the skill 1 a lot. And then Yami obviously uses his skill 1 a lot. So to stop him from taking a bit more damage, right, that's how you would do it. So Yami's getting a lot of buffs from these because a lot of the buffs are from the skill 1. So that's something to actually keep in mind. So now we're going to go into the best set, or what I consider to be the most universal set that's going to work on a lot of people because of the 2 set. So this 2 set puts an increased special point with a chance of 35% at the start of each turn. Now, it's not guaranteed, but it's the chance is there, and most of the times, like, you're going to get it at least sometimes. And in my opinion, it's pretty good. Now, the other part that's very good about it, at least for more free-to-play players, maybe not other players, but free-to-play players, the good thing about it is that you can just farm these sets, right? And it's very easy. And if you do get lucky, right, it does take luck. That is the unfortunate part. But if you do get lucky, this set is going to be giving you 2 SP at the start of every turn. Very good. Now, the 4-piece is going to be giving another special point, but guaranteed. But there's a chance to increase your skill 2 cooldown, but overall, not the craziest thing. Not the craziest, like, debuff, I guess. But overall, the 4-piece isn't really worth it in a lot of cases. I haven't seen a case where you would want to run the 4-piece, but let me know if there's a specific case. But starting off, Charlotte to get her ult back quicker is the main way I would see it. Then with Julius, same things. And Noelle, I mean, mainly it's just that, like, you could run something like this if you're going for a 3-2 sets. It would be okay, right? Vanessa, her ult is amazing, giving the 2-turn invincibility and vulnerability, whatever you want to call it, and then dispelling debuffs. It's just super strong, right? So getting that ult back quicker is very good. Now, Yami, okay, sorry, it took me a sec. Yami, you don't want to use his ult too much, but let's say he loses his SP. You want to get back up to 8 SP so that he gets the barrier, all right? So that he also, if you're at max dupe, gets the damage reduction. So that's why it's very important. And then this right? Just getting more SP, especially if your skill page is not max duped or he's not at 2 dupes to get the +2, it's going to be useful. Because Yuno's ult, if you're able to spam it with the dupe 2, with the skill page, then this is going to make it even better. So those are the units I would consider running this one on. Now, technically, you could run it on anyone who has a good ultimate, right? So, did I show Julius? Yeah, like, even Julius has a good ult, but if you look at it, anyone who has a good ult that you want to use a lot, you could use it for. Even Spirit Dive Yuno, right? Spirit Dive Yuno, I just didn't really include him, but Spirit Dive Yuno would work. Zora could work, right? So many of these could work as long as it's the 2-piece. And the good thing about this new Advanced Gear Dungeon is that because you're able to farm and select which ones you want, it's going to be much easier to target and get Transcendence. Even if, for example, right, we've been able to farm the other gears since day 1, where this, it's just popping out of nowhere, but it's still going to be the easiest gear sets to get max transcended. So that's the good part about it, where it's free stats and still good 2 sets, right? Now this one, Snow Warrior, when you're less than 40% HP, 5% damage reduction. And then the 4-piece, I tried it out, not good. Basically, it gives 10% mobility every time you're attacked, and it gives 30% defense every time you're attacked. Now, the part that sucks is that it does not count for the turn where you're attacking. The 4-piece would be very good for Black Asta, but the defense comes off the minute he's attacking. Like, before he's attacking, the defense leaves. It's only in between him, well, it's only when it's not his turn. When it's his turn, he loses the defense buff. So it's not good running the 4-piece, but the 2-piece could work on Black Asta. I don't really see many other purposes to running it. Because, well, okay. Mono green has invincibility if they're low, and immortality. Mono red has heals, and mono blue has heals later on. So you're not going to find many cases where this 5% damage reduction is applicable besides Black Asta and Anti-Magic. That's literally it. Only time I could see it. But I would say Snow Warrior, you farm last. So those are the 4 gears that we have currently, the 4 new gear sets in game. So I think overall though, Clown and SP set, these 2 here, are probably the best ones. All right. This one, unfortunate, but this one is the best. But I mean, from the ones you could farm, actually, these 2 are the best ones. It's really just which one do you want more. I would say the SP one, if you are fine with the more gotcha element or just chance element to it, you could get very lucky, and this SP one could be cracked. All right, so that's it for the global gears. All right, now let's go on to the JP ones, starting with this. So this one is going to be very good. These are honestly very specific instances of when you could use them. But this one is going to be giving, when you use an alt, either a 10% speed increase or also a 55% speed increase. I do not know if it stacks together. I've not tried it out. But logically, just looking at this, the 4-piece will be good on one person only, being Rill. Now, you might be a bit confused, but Rill is not meant to go first. He is meant, if anything, to go second. But going first does not really matter because you're able... He just needs to go at a decent pace. And if he's on mono red, he will be able to run this 4-piece if you want to, okay? If you're kind of low on other sets, then this one is not going to be a bad one to farm in the future, okay, at all. So I would say this one could work on Rill, all right? Is it the best? Maybe not. You might want to run the 4-piece speed in some instances, okay? But I will do a bit of testing in the future, but it should work very well on Rill. Now, besides that, for the 2-piece, when you use an alt, you get the 10% speed increase. You could even just run the 2-piece. What you could do is run 4-piece speed and 2-piece speed, 2-piece of this on Rill, and it could work very well. All right, that's something to kind of keep in mind. Even if you lose a bit of defense, Rill should be fine. Now, besides that, for the 2-piece, looking at it, right, even the 2-piece could work on a bunch of other units that have good ultimates. So what I mean is someone like, you know, who you're using at turn 1 to get back his, get back. So I would say you could go 4-piece speed, which you need the 4-piece speed in my opinion for, you know, plus 2-piece of this in the future. Probably the best way to go. Even the 2-piece, 10% speed, even for DPSs, okay? For example, why DPSs? Because usually DPSs are at the same speed. If you're able to get even 10%, that's going to be good. So the people who would profit the most from it, looking at it, would be Charmy, Julie, maybe Julius if it stacks. It should stack. So Julius 2. Spirit Dive, you know, could go for the 2-piece for sure. I'm going to try this on Spirit Dive once I get this set up. I don't remember which... this is added on to the limited gear dungeon. So now on JP... Oh, alright. Well, unfortunate. Hold on. Oh, this is a... Hello? What type of glitch? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I don't need to be in here anymore, so I'll just keep it for background. Each limited gear dungeon or advanced gear dungeon has 2 sets. All right. So even the 2-piece is going to be very good for Spirit Dive. Okay. Any basically just DPS is going to work who wants to be sped up at least a bit and uses their ultimate a lot. That's the main point. Okay. That's the main point. The 2-piece is going to work on a lot of people and a lot of supports too that just want to run 3 2-pieces, 3 2-sets. So Charlotte, not Ghost, you could, I guess. Witch Queen could work for sure. Witch Queen 2 because you're using 3 2-pieces, 3 2-piece sets. So this one could work on pretty much anyone for the 2-piece that uses their ultimate, right? Main top 5 I would say is probably Rill, even for the 4-piece in some cases. Spirit Dive, you know, Charlotte, Witch Queen, and then the red, you know, for sure. So that's it for that. Now this one is much more specific and much more niche to only being for counterattack units, which it's luck, right? They made it for luck. So 2-piece. If the wearer receives an attack while the counterattack effect is applied, the wearer receives a buff that reduces the amount of damage received by 15% for 1 turn. So I would say only the 2-piece, okay? Not the 4-piece, because it doesn't increase your damage outright, but the 2-piece is going to be giving you damage reduction, which for luck is going to be huge. So you could even put this on the whole mono blue team, but the 2-piece is something I highly recommend, all right? Luck gives AoE counterattack, so you could put this on any of them. Zora, okay? Charlotte, William, Defender William, Luck, K, Noel, any of them. Going for the 2-piece is going to be good, but not the 4-piece because it increases counterattack damage. But I don't know. You're not trying to do too much damage on the counterattacks. The main thing that the counterattack gives is, first of all, Luck, his damage reduction of 70%, and then William, the extra damage reduction on his ult, and also what's it called, the barrier block on the skill 2. and stuff like that. So this one's going to be good for the 2-piece. For the mono blue team only, anyone on the mono blue team can run this, but that's it. Now, next up, this one. Anyone who has a good skill 1 or a skill 1 that is used a lot will be using this set. So it's going to be increasing the skill 1 damage, not just every skill, only the skill 1 damage. Keep that in mind. The translation is very rough, but it increases the skill 1 damage, or just critical hit rate. So you could run the 2-piece on basically just luck, because his skill 1 is pretty good. Okay, but I would say mainly Yami, right? Yami is the main one you're going to use it with, because his skill 1 is the one you're using a lot. And then besides that, Charmy, I wouldn't use it in, and Julius is like the only other case maybe. So honestly, I'm not going to lie, I thought it was damage, but it's only crit rate. So you could use it on Yami, but besides that, I wouldn't use it on anyone else. There's way better gear sets. But this is definitely one that you can run. So that goes over the 7 gear sets out right now. I'd say that the new gear sets, this one is very good for mono blue. And this one is very good for the whole game in general for the 2-piece. So that makes up everything. The global gear sets, the JP gear sets. I hope this video was insightful. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.